service, election, mail.
Mail election service. Service on roll. On.
Service. Mail service. Mail election. Mail service. Mail service. Mail service.
Service. Mail election. Mail.
Service. Election. Service. Mail. Service. Service. Election. Service. Mail. Election.
Service and election. Mail election. Service election.
Chair,
Service.
Election, mail, election, service,
Election.
Mail. When used.
service,
Mail.
Mail, service,
election,
Service.
re-election,
Mail election.
election, service,
Mail, service, mail, service.
mail, election, service, election, mail,
Election service, Tennessee.
Service. Election. Service. Election. Service.
election, service,
Mail.
election service. Election election.
Service. Mail. Service.
service to diff, service,
Election, mail, service, election, election, service,
Election.
Service.
election,
Service.
Mail. Service. Mail.
service, mail, service, mail, election, service, mail, election,
Mail, election, service, mail,
Service.
mail, election,
election, service, election,
Election
service,
Service.
mail, driving mail.
election, had a stamp,
Service, mail,
election,
Election service, mail service, mail servicing, election, mail, election service, the risk, election service, mail.
election, service, mail, election, service, election,
Election. Service. Election. Service. Election. Mail.
mail, service, election,